All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about a pair of true wireless earbuds that's not new. In fact, these came out back in 2023. And initially, I never covered these because by the time that I got my hands on them, they had already been out a while. And I didn't think a lot of people would be interested in them. So I kind of just glazed them over and just didn't cover them on the channel. But while I was in New York, I came across the Denon Perl Pro again. I was in B&H and I saw that the price went from $300, which was their original retail price, all the way down to $150. So I got them basically for half off. And at this price, they make these a lot more compelling for a lot of reasons. Now, I did go back and look on the site and look on Amazon. They are back up to $199. But even still at this price, they compete with the higher end earbuds that are out right now. That are costing much more than what these are able to be picked up at right now. So I thought it made it a lot more interesting, and I felt like it was worth bringing these back into like the spotlight. Especially, my channel revolves around true wireless earbuds. I thought it was a good time to cover these on the channel. Now, the first thing is, if you're not familiar with kind of like the origin story of these, there was a company called Nura, and they had earbuds called the Nura True Pro. I thought those earbuds were excellent. They were unique in a lot of ways. They have this one feature that does an excellent job of pinpointing exactly what your ears are hearing and how it should be tuned to appeal to each listener. Now, we've seen this in some other earbuds, but usually it's not as effective as it was in those. And then another thing is the design itself. It's this really large circle. And so Denon kind of saw the opportunity to buy this company and buy basically the Nura True Pro and make it their own. So now what we have is the Denon Perl Pro, which is available in black and in white. I went with the black color here, but like I said, it's an earbud that can be picked up now for under $200, and it's an earbud that punches well above that price tag, especially again comparing them to the competitors out there. Now, the star of the show, like I said, is the personalized sound. They call this adaptive acoustic technology. Now, you are going to have to download the app to go through this process, but I'd recommend downloading the app anyway so that you have all of the latest updates on these. Again, it's just playing these minor tones, and it's playing it in higher pitch and lower pitch, and it's kind of seeing how your ears react to each tone, and that is how it comes up with what they call your personalized listening experience. Now, also within the app, they have this immersion slider. This really kind of controls how much bass you want these to have. Now, we'll talk about all of this once we actually get to the sound, but this pair has so much control over the sound itself. I mean, going in and dialing in the EQ if you want to do that. So there's just so much that you can do with the sound here. Now, as far as some of the tech that's in these, it does support Snapdragon sound, and it does have aptX lossless playback. So you can have lossless quality, basically CD quality coming out of these earbuds. This again is a much higher Bluetooth codec than we see in a lot of earbuds. It also has spatial audio, which you guys know I'm not a huge fan of, but they did partner with Dirac to be able to do this. Now, Dirac does things very specific. It's not like what other people call spatial audio, where it just adds some reverb and kind of gives you the illusion that it has space. This genuinely is true spatial audio. But again, I am not the biggest fan of it when it comes to listening to that with music, but it works wonders when it comes to movies and TV shows. And as far as spatial audio, this is some of the best you're going to have when it comes to music, but I again personally choose not to use it when it comes to music. Now, these also support multi-point, so you can connect to more than one device at a time. And this pair also has active noise canceling. Now, the active noise canceling in these are fantastic. It is definitely, in my opinion, up there with the Sony and the Bose, which is some of the best when it comes to noise canceling. So not only does it do a good job of blocking out lower tones like engine noises and AC units, anything that has those lower tones, but it also does a really good job of blocking out people talking. Now, I was able to use these on my flight back from New York, and it was very comparable, although still not as good as my Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra over the ears. And I think that says a lot because over the ears is already surrounding your whole ears, where these are just obviously using ear tips to go in your ear canal. but the noise canceling technology is definitely impressive on these. But the other huge plus is what they call the social mode. Now, this is basically like a transparency mode. This is what is allowing outside sounds to come in, and this keeps you from having to take your earbuds out if you need to talk to somebody, if you need to just kind of hear the environment around you. This is some of the best awareness or transparency that I've heard on any earbuds as well, and we'll talk about maybe why that is once we get to the actual mics that they're using. Now, if you are going to use these outdoors, they do only come in with an IPX4 rating. This is not very impressive, but it's kind of almost like a standard when it comes to noise canceling earbuds. So you'll be fine against rain, sweat, splashes, and things like that. It's just not one of those pairs you can drop into water. Now, as far as what all they've included inside the box, it does come with 4 sets of silicone ear tips. It also comes with 1 set of foam ear tips. It comes with a small USB-C cable, but luckily the case on these do support wireless charging. So you can just drop it on any wireless charger and it'll just start charging that way. And speaking of the charging, battery life is okay. On a full charge, you can get about 8 hours on the earbuds and about 24 hours using the case. Now, this is with the noise canceling off, but if you're gonna have the noise canceling on, it's gonna drag it down a little bit. And then if you do happen to pick them up and they are dead, at least these do have a fast charge feature, although not the most impressive fast charging feature, because a 5-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use. And I've said this many times, this is something that comes in handy. So I do like that there is some sort of fast charging on here, even though it's not some of the best out there. Now, circling back to talking about the microphones. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, there are 8 microphones total, and it is also using Qualcomm's aptX voice. This is doing a really good job of just focusing in on your voice and trying to block out your surroundings, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So I'm realizing as I'm shooting, this is a very bright day outside. This is probably like the worst time to actually try to record this, but I am doing a mic test of the Denon Perl Pro, and I'm doing it outside just so you can see or hear how it's focusing in on my voice and not really picking up a lot of the sounds around me.
So now let's talk about the sound. And the sound is the reason that these earbuds are on a lot of people's favorites when it comes to just pure sound out of a pair of earbuds. Now, it is using a 10mm dynamic driver that is made from triple layer titanium, and the overall sound that these have, first off, they get plenty loud. It is a very aggressive pair. Now, if you definitely go into the app and you slide that like immersion mode all the way up, the bass that these have, I think, has the most amount of bass, the most kind of at least volume of bass out of any earbud on the market. If you are a bass head and you are looking for an earbud to give you just tons of bass, especially that sub bass, that is where the Denon Perl Pros come in. That is where that immersion mode slider comes in. But luckily, it doesn't destroy anything else. Everything else is still in your face. The mids are bumped up. I felt like vocalists are very aggressive in this pair. It does not sound artificial. It doesn't sound like it's trying to do anything to vocals. They still have this pure tone to them. But it is a little bit more upfront. But that, again, has to be this way when you have low end that's like this. And they did the same thing with the treble. The treble has this nice shine to it. It has this nice brightness to it, although it never gets like harsh. It doesn't have the sibilant sound in S's. You can tell that they just had to push everything up so that the bass just doesn't leave everything in the dust. So it is a very aggressively tuned earbud. It is definitely going for that Harman curve target. There's just something in here that's just boosted and giving these so much more power than I'm used to with other earbuds. But the other impressive thing is the soundstage and the sound imaging. Now, this is using them with the spatial audio turned off. I still felt like I was in a very large room. And if you want just a little bit more space, go ahead and turn on the spatial audio. It's just going to open it up a little bit more, although it's not going to be as fun to listen to. And then when it comes to being able to tell where sounds are coming from, this pair does an incredible job with. So my overall opinion on these is they are a very big earbud. So if that is something that bothers you, you might want to keep that in mind. The battery life is just okay if you're going to compare them to other earbuds in the market. They are going to feel a little pricey for an earbud that came out in September of 2023, especially considering that we're in 2025 now. But everything about them still holds up. The features, the specs, the sound quality, it matches up with all of the higher end earbuds that are coming out right now. Sound quality wise, I would put them up against the Noble Audio Focus Rex 5, which comes in at what, $450. So it starts to make that $199 price tag and possibly $150 look like a hell of a bargain. And that's why I picked these up while I was at B&H in New York this past weekend. I don't think we always have to cover like the newest earbud that came out. And I don't think because new earbuds come out that it makes the ones that came out a year ago or 2 years ago, it doesn't make those like obsolete, like they don't compete in the market anymore. That's how fast people move with tech. So I wanted to shine the spotlight back on the Denon Perl Pros. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.